IDS 301. Welcome to Module 5 Video 2. It's Tuesday, September 29th, and I am ready to go here, I think. So let's talk about some of the things I saw from the maps. This isn't going to work. It blocks everything, doesn't it? I should have checked. Okay, so for your maps, again, I fully admit to being critical on them. This course is not meant to be just kind of like slide through, show up, and get an A. And the good news is there are still so many good grades in this course. I'm really impressed. Uh, I'm trying to give wide berth for those items that I know were not explained well in terms of the sample and me in video, and giving breaks on that. So it's important that today's the last day for maps. At midnight, it shuts off. Well, it doesn't shut off. That's the thing. I'm going to leave it open. If you and I discussed by email or whatever your redo, I'm going to leave it open for you to get that back in. I'd like to see them by the weekend, Friday would be nice. And then I'll close it down. So let's just say that right now. It's Tuesday. I'm going to close it on Friday. How's that? Okay, I'm not going to be wishy-washy with you guys. If you turn your original one in after today, I'm not accepting it. It's going to be zeroed out. So, all right. Let's talk about sources. Okay. Something called peer-reviewed and primary sources, right? Those are important to use as you move on in your academics, as well as become a better consumer of knowledge, to know what a peer-reviewed primary source is. Well, peer-reviewed sources are those we find in journals and things that, and journals, academic journals, I should say, textbooks, dissertations published, things that have been reviewed by peers, by the peer group in that field, peer-reviewed. It passes muster and it can be used as a source. Primary is when you go directly and use someone's research paper, someone's research. Okay, so it could be peer-reviewed primary if it's in a journal, but it's primary research means that that's what you've done. So what we're talking about in terms of using sources when you cite in your work to back it up, to show academic rigor means you don't use ASU's website and schedule of classes or programs, and you don't use our textbook because those are just cheap. They do not show academic rigor. The goal here is to get out and find things, to use the library. Back when I was a kid, we had to go to the library and use the Dewey Decimal System and all the cards in the rack and look it up and write them down and go search for them. Now, you kids, now, I hate when people do that, okay? But it's true. It's very convenient to get those sources from the online libraries, okay? Even Google has Google Scholar. Citations, I screwed up. I missed that in the sample. I may have to write my own sample for next time, but you're not worried about that. You're like, why does this guy keep yawning on video? I know. No I, me, my. Many papers didn't have I, me, my. Some of you just love using I, me, my. Pro tip. If the paper is not meant to be about you, what am I losing hair here? If the paper is not meant to be about you, you don't need to be in there. Okay. Now, the very tough love answer to that is, why should you not appear? Because nobody cares. I know that's a tough love approach. But when you think about it, again, I probably use this example. When you're in high school or whatever class you're in and you have a textbook and you're reading that baby in history, and it's talking about the Civil War, and during the Civil War, the South, fought the North, and they had battles here and this and that, blah, blah, blah. You don't read, and I found out about the Civil War that blah, 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 blah. And recently I discovered that blah, blah. It's important to me because blah, 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 blah. See what I mean? You don't care about the author of your history textbook, right? They're writing it in the third person. It's not about them, and this is not about you, okay? Try to discern that difference in your writing as you move through academia and beyond, okay? It'll sound much more professional in whatever venue you're at, all right? Um, so the formatting in general, again, if your indents were all over the place, if you had just trying to reinvent the wheel, if you're doing a center justified works cited list, what are you trying to hurt me here? Trying to hurt me? Okay, so it's the same holds true for discussion boards, by the way. You have to look at it from the point of view of your reader, too. If you're just going to say, oh, I got to write this, I got to write this. Okay, I'm done. I covered it all. There were 12 different prompts, but I covered them all. Submit. And then that's it. You think you did what you're supposed to do. So the heck with anybody who's reading it. Let them figure out where one stops and the other one starts. It's not right. Okay. People get dinged for that. All right. Okay. So let's, yeah, that's what no paragraph break says. It says, I don't care. It says, here you go. I did my share. No, 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 no. I will deduct for that. Again, it looks like at least 75% of this class is passing, and probably over half are getting A's or B's. Okay, so you're doing great. Let's go with Easter egg number one and call it academic rigor, because that is, again, the terminology you use when you step up your game in academia and you look for sources. If you're going to be lazy, it's going to give it away. Okay. If you're going to just go off a website, I had somebody in my other class used a blog. Don't use a blog. And I warned them a lot more than I warned this class. I should have. Investopedia sucks. Anything with a pedia sucks. Anything with a blog in it sucks. Anything with a .com in it usually sucks. Okay? Those are not peer-reviewed primary sources. All things are not equal on the web. Okay? Just so you know that. And I might have jumped the gun thinking that you already knew that, and I guess you didn't. You can't source these places that just because somebody's got an opinion about something doesn't mean they know what the heck they're talking about. All right? It's not peer reviewed. So let's see. We've got two discussion boards that I think I just scored one and we got another one to go, right? Or we have both of them. Let's see what I've got here in your class. Is this? Yeah, okay. Sorry. By the way, I think spring classes opened up. If you're looking to take a 302 with me, I have a whole mess of them. Okay, let's see. So we had a discussion. We had this maps with 100. We've got a 40-point discussion board, the IDS debate, and then we have another quiz, and we have the dialogue listening with awareness. That's pretty cool. And then we're going to finish it off with personal narrative paper, which is totally messed up because it says, well, it's 75 points. I think I just uploaded. Oh, okay. Timeout. I was working in the old 301 because I was trying to find a good sample to use, and I uploaded it into their class. So I will be uploading a sample of the personal narrative paper. All right. The rubric I'm trying to read, I have to redo it. It's 75. It's not 100. I took those extra points and put them on the maps, which I thought was very important, more important than, again, this paper coming up, you're talking about yourself. You get to use I, me, my. I'm going to flip them next semester, and the personal narrative comes first. Get yourself out of your system. Then you work on your maps. That's what we're going to do it next time. But for this time, you get to talk about I, me, my. Now, the sample I'm going to post is by a mature adult student who I was so impressed with. He's like, he became like a CEO or a department head in a big healthcare operation, I believe. He came back to school to earn like his third bachelor's, and he had PhD or whatever. He's good, but I want to show you the best of the best, right? But I want to show you how organized, how neatly it's written in terms of formatting and how it rolls, you know, just so you get some idea what I'm looking for, okay? That one has got the full 75 points, no doubt about it. Let's talk about um, Easter egg number 2, and I'm going to go with academic rigor. I know that sounds familiar, but I'm trying to impress that upon you, even though you got a personal paper coming. Just want you to remember those things. That's a big term, okay? So I'll post a sample. We got the wrong rubric total. I'm going to fix that. I'm screwed up here with my Easter eggs. I've got one more, and we'll get you out of here at 11 minutes. So contact me with questions or comments, concerns. One more module after this one, so keep it going. Easter egg number 3. I want you to step up your game. It's not cheap. You do the work in one day or so. I know it. I can tell. Okay. So, forks up. Have a good week. See ya.